Okay, now that I've got your attention, I want to talk to you today about kitchen safety. One of the key elements that we're going to talk about this week, or you'll talk about with Mrs. Maitland, is kitchen safety. And I just wanted to highlight to you the fact that in this commercial kitchen that you're working in, as well as a domestic kitchen, there's a lot of safety issues. For example, knives. And if we have a look at the next slide, yes, we've got this is a burn to a foot. So this is after some work has been done on the burn. And then we've got the final result for this person. So it's an unsafe place if you're not careful. But if you are careful, it's very safe. So we need to think about slips and spills and all sorts of things. So I've got an infographic that I want to share with you. Hopefully the kitchen isn't trying to kill you, but we need to bear in mind a whole heap of different things. One of the major incidents that occur in the kitchen are due to knives, so you need to be really careful. And as you can see up here on the graphic, it talks about most kitchen-related accidents involve the knife, specifically a dull knife. In home economics or food technology or food and hospitality, one of the major causes of this incident with a knife is also other people. So we need to all work together in the kitchen safely and carefully so that we can operate in a safe environment. Moving along, we'll look at the next slide, and there's some safety tips there. They're really common sense safety tips. Hopefully you understand a lot of them by now. For example, one of the things that I see a lot of people often do is not wash their knives separately. They put the sharp knife into the sink and the next person might come along, and if they don't know the knife is there, they can cut themselves. Also, storing knives and carrying knives safely are really important. Fires, another large cause of accidents in the kitchen. You need to be careful. We need to work together. Don't leave things unattended on the stove. And we'll have a quick look at some of the safety tips with regards to fires. You need to remember that different fires require different methods of being extinguished. The major piece of fire equipment that you probably will use is the fire blanket in the kitchen, and you need to find out where they are when you go into the kitchen. With regards to fire extinguishers, hopefully any fire that will occur in our kitchen won't be very large because there's not a lot of fat and oils are being used at any one time. But if there is a fire, the best thing to do is to get my attention and then we'll handle it together, okay? Next, burns. I see this quite a lot in the kitchen where students have done things like tried to get something out the oven with a tea towel that's damp. Remember that the water in that tea towel, when it turns to steam, it's 100 degrees because that's what steam is. It's boiling water. So be careful with that. If you do burn yourself, make sure you put your hand under cold water immediately and you keep it running cold water and for 10 to 15 minutes. But as soon as you've got your hand under the water, grab my attention, get another student to come and find me, and we'll have a look at it together. It's really important we handle this properly, otherwise you can get some really serious scarring from burns. Some of the bigger safety tips are, if you have a look here, don't let them stick out. The pan handles. I often find that people either leave them sticking out or they turn them inwards on the stove so that they're across another flame, and then they don't realise that it's just not thinking about what's going on. Or if you light a flame, make sure that you're not lighting a flame that's underneath the handle of someone else's pan. Be really careful with that because we have to work closely together, okay? Cleanliness and the spread of diseases. The old doing the dishes and cleaning the benches and wiping the sinks out. It's really important that we do this properly because we're not the only ones using the kitchen. Even if we were, we need to make sure it's clean. We expect the class before us to clean the kitchen. We need to clean it in preparation for the next class. I'll be focusing on this a lot this semester, so you need to make sure you can do that. It's really important. We don't want bacteria to contaminate the food, and we don't want to leave food in the sinks, for example, in the drain holes or anywhere for the vermin to come in overnight. And by vermin, I mean cockroaches and mice and things like that, to feed on that. We need to keep the kitchen clean, and it's your responsibility to clean up after yourself. There's a few other things with regards to cleanliness. We need to make sure that food is stored properly. We need to make sure that it's at the correct temperature. We don't leave the fridge door wide open for ages. We make sure that if we've got food that needs to be hot, it reaches the right temperature. We have thermometers if you want to check. It's a really good thing to do. Okay, we need to also make sure that we're not using the same tea towel over and over again. We've got lots. Make sure that you get a clean one out to use. Make sure that you use a clean cloth when you're wiping down the bench. You wipe the bench down with warm soapy water and then you sanitize the bench and you wipe that down with clean dry paper towel. All of this information that I've shown in the infographic has come from a restaurant equipment company in America, and I sourced that off the Food Beast website. Look, I look forward to seeing you all next week. Just to let you know, I am at some training at TAFE, and that TAFE training is about things that we will be able to implement in the kitchen when I return. So I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Enjoy your week. Make sure that those pies you make later in the week are like schmicky-doo, because they are going to be served not only to the Japanese exchange students, but also at a catering job that we're doing next semester. So I look forward to talking to you all about this, and enjoy the week and see you next Monday.